Pete Hegseth held a press conference earlier today, and the summary of the press conference, to me anyway, was pretty simple. It was basically Trump is the greatest military strategist and political leader in the history of the planet. It was the most brilliant military operation in the world. Iran will never bother anyone ever again throughout the world because of Trump's leadership, and the media is really, really bad. That's really what this entire press conference was about. It was a circus. It was a clown show. And Pete Hegseth started today just attacking the media and saying that the press cheer against Trump so hard and cheer against the country. Have a listen to this.
Because you, and I mean specifically you, the press, specifically you, the press corps, because you cheer against Trump so hard, it's like in your DNA and in your blood to cheer against Trump, because you want him not to be successful so bad, you have to cheer against the efficacy of these strikes. You have to hope maybe they weren't effective. Maybe the way the Trump administration has represented them isn't true. So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful. How many stories have been written about how hard it is to, I don't know, fly a plane for 36 hours?
Absolutely and positively ridiculous. Those are filled with lies. You couldn't find me one member of the media that has been covering this that is rooting against the operation. I, for one, am not one of them. Obviously, I want America to succeed in any situation. Whether I agree or not with the strike, I want it to be successful. You couldn't find one member of the media that is rooting against our military in an honest fashion. So what he is doing is he is projecting, and he's lying. Just like they said, you know, where's all the praise for our brave soldiers and our military flying these planes? There's been nobody that said anything negative about the military or about these pilots who were executing this. That's not the issue here. The issue is, how successful was it? The issue is, does Iran still have nuclear capabilities? Did they get the uranium? And we're learning, based on our own intelligence, that no, that's most likely not the case. We know that there are videos from a couple days ago, we'll get to this, of Iran getting trucks out of that area. What was in those trucks? What were they getting shipped out of there 2 days before? Let's be honest, most of this press conference was a raging lunatic that was just yelling at the media. That's really all this was. Pete Hegseth has an obsession with press coverage, just like so many others in the Trump administration and Donald Trump. And again, it showed quite heavily earlier today.
So let's take half-truths, spun information, leaked information, and then spin it in every way we can to try to cause doubt and manipulate the public mind over whether or not our brave pilots were successful.
Absolutely ridiculous once again. There is not one member of the media, as I repeat, that has gone after the pilots in any negative fashion. In fact, I've only heard positives, and I'm for one of them. I respect our brave men and women in uniform. I'm sure they did exactly what they were told to do, and they executed that. Doesn't mean that it was successful. That's not on the pilots. But again, Pete Hegseth is deflecting. To me, this is a monumental moment in the Trump administration from this standpoint. Pete Hegseth goes after a Fox News reporter, a well-distinguished woman who is respected on both sides of the aisle. I would not say that about a lot of people on Fox News. And she asked what I would consider a very relevant question, which is, and what we've been talking about the last couple days, how are you so confident that we got what we wanted to get in the uranium and what was on that site? How can you be so confident when we know that a couple days earlier, Iran got warnings that this attack was going to happen, and we've seen 8 to 10 trucks leaving that facility? We don't know what were in those trucks, but it's a very logical question and a very relevant question that a good journalist would ask. And listen to the fact that not only Pete Hegseth doesn't answer the question, but he attacks her.
We've seen that suggest that we didn't hit exactly what we wanted to hit in those locations.
That's not the question, though. It's about highly enriched uranium. Do you have certainty that all the highly enriched uranium was inside the Fordo Mountain, or some of it, because there were satellite photos that showed more than a dozen trucks there 2 days in advance. Are you certain none of that highly enriched uranium was moved?
Of course, we're watching every single aspect, but Jennifer, you've been about the worst, the one who misrepresents the most intentionally what the president says. I'm familiar.
I report about the ventilation shafts on Saturday night, and in fact, I was the first to describe the B-2 bombers, the refueling, the entire mission with great accuracy. So I take issue with that.
I appreciate you acknowledging that this was the
issues.
first the most successful mission based on operational security that this department has done since you've been here, and I appreciate that.
Okay, so two important notes there. And again, I'm defending her because I think she's a very good journalist. She's one of the few on Fox News that I would say does a really good job. She reports on the facts. She's a very good reporter and happens to work for Fox News. Keep in mind, this is one of Pete Hegseth's former colleagues. Two things in that soundbite that I think are extremely relevant. Number one, he doesn't answer the question. She is talking about those trucks that left the facility a few days before the bombings took place and the attack took place by our own military. Notice how he doesn't want to address it, doesn't even respond to it, doesn't answer the question, just speaks in generalities. This was successful. It was successful. Doesn't talk about our own intelligence and video that we have of them leaving that facility with trucks, 8 to 10 of them. Doesn't respond. Number two, a playbook from the Trump administration. What do? Well, when they can't answer a question or they can't defend something, when they can't defend the indefensible, what do? They attack the media. That's what this entire press conference was all about. It was about attacking the media and what I would consider someone who is a pretty good journalist. She's a straight-up journalist, and she's one of the few on Fox News that I say do a good job. And then there's Pete Hegseth. I want you to listen to what, according to his own mother, the woman abuser and alcoholic, Pete Hegseth had to say about the situation with Iran. Have a listen to this.
Be in the Situation Room pretty soon with the president. Is he still aiming for a nuclear deal with the Iranians?
Of course. The president's, as he said today, his position has not changed. What you're watching in real time is peace through strength and America first. Our job is to be strong. We are postured defensively in the region to be strong in pursuit of a peace deal. And we certainly hope that's what happens here. And America first means we're going to defend American personnel and American interests. So when you see jets and you see air defense assets and counter UAS assets, that's because my job as the Secretary of Defense is to ensure that our people are safe and that we're strong. So that we can set the conditions for a deal. And President Trump's made it clear it's on the table. The question is whether Iran will take it.
Does this look like peace through strength? You tell me. Israel and Iran at war. It appears as though America is now officially getting involved. Is that peace through strength? Is what's going on in Ukraine right now, when Donald Trump said he could end the war and would end the war in 24 hours, is that peace through strength every single time Donald Trump says Vladimir Putin wants peace, and then there are airstrikes when women, innocent women and children lose their lives? Is that peace through strength, Mr. Hegseth? Is what's going on in Lebanon right now and Yemen peace through strength? It's what's going on right now in Gaza, in a war zone there. Is that peace through strength? You tell me. Is it peace through strength when you guys have to call in the Marines to a couple of LA riots where a few blocks there was unruly protesters and some violence, but overwhelmingly mostly peaceful? Is that peace through strength when you have to call in our own military? There is no peace through strength under the Trump administration. It's bullying tactics. It's deporting brown people. It's giving people no due process while pardoning a bunch of January 6th insurrectionists, some of them white supremacists. That's not peace through strength. A deal is on the table. How many days now have we heard that? I feel like it's since day one. We were told 90 deals in 90 days. The art of the deal. There is no deal with China. There have been no deals that have been made. All we keep hearing from the Trump administration is there's a deal on the table and we hope they sign it. Really, what have they signed? The only thing that this administration has signed, executive orders to go after transgender athletes, executive orders to give people no due process, taking a Martin Luther King statue out of the Oval Office, taking down a portrait of General Milley. That's on top of Donald Trump's agenda. That's what's more important to them, getting Donald Trump on the national monument. Culture wars. Culture wars and starting new wars. But everything that happened under the Joe Biden administration was all his fault. Everything that happens under the Trump administration. Can you imagine if Joe Biden was president right now and Joe Biden was meeting with his national security advisors and staff, considering going to war with Iran and nuking some of their facilities? Can you imagine what Republicans would be saying today? That's exactly what's going on right now within the Trump administration. It's exactly what's going on. We were told that we were the warmongers. We were told that we were the people because we were in support of Ukraine. The Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world said we were warmongers because we support our allies in defeating an evil regime, Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin. We were the warmongers. And now Donald Trump is getting involved with this war between Iran and Israel, which, by the way, for the most part, has been going on for decades. It's not going to end if we get involved. This is a war that Israel needs to deal with themselves. And I'm sorry, I am pro-Israel, but the United States should not be getting involved. We should never be having troops on the ground. This is between Iran and Israel. And unless somebody could show me beyond the shadow of a doubt that somehow Iran is building their nuclear weapons, and we know that for a fact, I don't believe we should get involved, just like we should have never got involved in the war in Iraq. We were told that there were weapons of mass destruction, and then we were told, oh, faulty intelligence, sorry, my bad, while thousands of families are still grieving over the loss of their loved ones and the soldiers that have lost their lives because George W. Bush and Dick Cheney decided to go to war after 9/11. They didn't keep their head on the ball, which is what they should have done, which was going after Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. Instead, they used that to go into an ill-advised war so that Dick Cheney could profit off of it. And MAGA Republicans, back then, I guess you could call them Bush Republicans, profited off of that war. There were no weapons of mass destruction. There is still no evidence to suggest that there are nuclear weapons being built by Iran. But yet we're going to put all this money and effort and put troops on the ground there, and Donald Trump is going to go to war with Iran? There are Iranians in this country who voted for Donald Trump because they believed he would not start a new war. What are you thinking now? It's sick. Mark my words, this is what's going to happen. And MAGA Republicans called us the warmongers because we support Ukraine. Where are you today? I expect Lindsey Graham and the useless turtle, Mitch McConnell, to support Donald Trump. What about all the other Republicans out there that called us the warmongers? Where are you today? It's despicable. It's disgusting. It's par for the course. The world is on fire, and the people who voted for Donald Trump are responsible for what's going on all over the world.